Welcome back to another week of Operation Evil. This is episode 40, The Watcher House. I'm your host, Nyoka.
I'm sorry. I was trying to hold it back the whole time. I'm Rachel.
I'm Rachel. Thanks everyone who tunes in every week to listen to us, and we hope you enjoyed last week's Reddit episode. Those of you who are new, welcome. We're happy you decided to join us this week. If you don't mind sharing our podcast and rating us, that would be amazing. Anyway, we don't have any special announcements at this time, or do we? Actually, yeah, I do. So, I have an old little Shih Tzu with one eye and a snaggletooth, and she had the cutest hairdo done yesterday.
She's so cute.
Oh my gosh. And this groomer, her name's Heidi, and if you're in Northern Kentucky, I will give you her information and I'll post pictures of what she did to my dog because it's adorable. But she works at Noah's Ark in Fort Wright as the groomer there. And I give her creative freedom to do whatever. And she looks so cute. She's like funfettied.
Mm-hmm.
Different colors in her ears and tail and cute little bows. And oh my gosh, she was so happy. So happy.
She does all these amazing little things.
Yeah. There was even one time where she was like, hey, I tried to make it like your Operation Evil podcast theme, like with the colors and everything.
Yeah, that's when she did the red.
Yeah, it was great.
My favorite is when she uses the body jewelry.
Yes, I love that too. Yeah, she'll make it look like she has earrings on.
Yeah,
little stick-on earrings. It's adorable. But I had to say that because we were just there yesterday, and my dog is very happy, and she's so cute. I think that's about the extent of my special announcements. Do you have any?
We have someone that will be opening an Etsy store soon.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That would be Alexis, my kid.
What's it?
Black Cats and Bitchcraft. And we'll also link her Etsy store when she gets that open. She has made some really cool like Operation Evil coasters, and she's made a lot of goodies for us actually that are our theme. And if you would have received it too if you are in the upper 2 tiers of our Patreon when we send goodie bags, because there is a few things that she's made that's in there. That's pretty cool. So we will definitely link that because she will be making some Operation Evil coasters and things like that.
And we'll let you know when she goes live with her store.
Yep, definitely.
It's open.
Absolutely. That was good thought. Rachel's on it.
Proud of that girl.
Me too. She's kicking butt, taking names. All right. So this episode, I heard it on another podcast a long time ago.
Is it a mystery?
It's kind of a mystery. It is a mystery. Not kind of, it is. And it was one of those like, when you hear a story, it sticks with you kind of thing.
Yeah.
This was one of those because it's got a whole like creepy vibe to it. It's, well, I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you the story.
I love the name. The Watcher House.
The Watcher House, yes. So, 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey.
Wait. Did you take this off of that show that you love?
Which one? Morbid?
No. The television show. The two brothers.
No. Oh, Supernatural?
Yeah.
No, that's hilarious.
You know, wasn't it like the Winchester House on one of their episodes or something?
They had so much stuff on their episode. 15 seasons worth. You need to watch it all.
catch up with your 4+ times.
Yeah, I need to start a 5th round of watching it. So 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey was the location where Maria and Derek Broaddus bought their dream home that would be located there for them. And I don't like how I just said that. Let me start. So 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey was the location where Maria and Derek Broaddus thought their dream home would be located for them and their 3 children. They purchased the property in June of 2014. Maria was excited to live so close to her childhood home, and the home was very spacious too. This home was like...
I've been imagining like this huge house.
It is.
And mini mansion?
Kind of, yes. It was like 6 bedrooms, I believe, and they paid over, I think, $1.3 million for it. Yeah, it was a nice house. You know what? Let me show you a picture, and I will actually post this on our social media too. That's what the house looks like.
That looks like the Amityville house.
Kinda. Let me see if...
That's really cute, though. Oh, wow.
Like, it's pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Here's a better picture. So it was only 3 days after the purchase of their home when they had a letter arrive in their mailbox. And from what I heard on another story is the husband, Derek, was there late painting, doing renovations. They weren't moved in yet. And it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and he decided to go to the mailbox. He wasn't really expecting anything. They don't have like their mail forwarded yet. They're still setting all that things up. But there was a letter in there, and it was addressed to the new owner. And the letter inside was typed, and it read, "Dearest new neighbor of 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within?"
Okay, that's already weird.
657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched it in the 1960s. It is now my time. Who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I am in one. Look at all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I am in one. Look out any of the many windows in 657 Boulevard at all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. You have children. I have seen them. So far, I think that there are 3 that I have counted. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family? Or was it the greed to bring me to your children? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. The author then signed as The Watcher in cursive font.
What in the heck?
Isn't that creepy?
Yeah. At first it would be like, someone's playing a joke. But later on...
Yeah. So that was letter number 1. So the previous owners of the house was John and Andrea Woods. They were contacted by Maria and Derek to ask about the letter that they got and see if they received any. Well, they stated that in the 23 years that they lived in the home, they received 1 letter, and it just happened to be sent only days before they moved out. They disregarded the letter and they didn't put much thought into it. However, after the 2 families got together about this, they all decided to go to the police and inform them about what was happening. The police instructed them to keep quiet about the watcher, as the neighbors were now all suspects.
So did they say what was in their letter at all?
No, I think they were just... From the next letter that we read, you'll kind of get an idea of maybe what was in the letter, but I don't know word for word about what was in there. They didn't even think anything of it. It didn't faze them. They just pitched it.
Oh, okay.
It was just one of those things, like they never thought twice about it. I mean, they lived there for so long. Never had these issues before. So 2 weeks had passed. Oh, and before I go on, so the police instructed them to be quiet about the watcher because now all the neighbors could be the watcher. And so they didn't want them asking, going door to door.
And then they know.
And then they know that the police is looking into this because that would kind of like ruin things. So
that'd spoil the fun.
That would spoil the fun. 2 weeks passed when a second letter arrived. The family still hadn't moved in this time, and the letter was creepy and concerning and included even more information like their surname, their children's birth order, and nicknames, and referenced their daughter painting in the enclosed porch space, asking if she was the artist of the family.
That is nuts.
Yes. So this letter went on to say, "It has been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all of the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream. Will they sleep in the attic, or will you all sleep on the second floor? Who has the bedrooms facing the street?
God, you nosy busybody.
I'll know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know which is in who is in which bedroom, and then I can plan better."
Oh my God. That's freaking me out just sitting here.
Yeah, right? So after this letter, the couple was like, pause, I'm not feeling comfortable about this. So they paused their plans to move in and stopped bringing their children to the house, causing a third letter to read, "Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you."
This is gonna be a joke, I swear. Oh my God.
The stress of these letters brought to the family caused Derek to suffer from depression and Maria with post-traumatic stress disorder. Additionally, the letters brought paranoia to the couple as well. A year of investigating did not bring them any leads either. The couple decided to put the house up for sale 6 months after the letters arrived. But due to the rumors surrounding the home, they couldn't sell it. The next action was they took attempt to sue the Woods family, the family that lived there prior, for not disclosing the threatening letter they had received. But in the end, the judge dismissed the case, and there was no evidence that they had intently hid the letter nor believed it was an actual threat. This attracted media attention, and the story was the subject of a media frenzy. So Plan C. The couple considered selling the house to a developer who could tear down the home and split the property into 2 separate parcels. However, the parcels would have to be, they ended up being 3 feet too small for the mandated size of the area.
Oh, okay.
So it couldn't be done. Derek and Maria did an appeal.
You don't want a code violation.
No, you don't. So if you want, you can always apply for an appeal to see if they'll grant you this. And it costs money to get it done, whatever. So they do this and they take it to the planning board. We know a little bit about this stuff.
Board of Adjustments.
Yes. Board of Adjustments.
We have a Board of Adjustments meeting tonight.
But it was unanimous and they were rejected. The plan and nothing could move forward. So 657 Boulevard would remain as is.
So I wonder then, seriously though, was this a historical house?
I think it was a very old home, but Let's just go on and see.
Ooh.
Okay. They were not happy about this, and even more so that they noticed in 2018, the same board approved splitting up a different lot near their house that had a larger required variation to meet that request, and they were approved.
Suspicious. Miss Sarian.
And it was, I think it was the same exact board too that said no to them and yes to them.
Oh, okay.
But we don't know the reasons. I'm sure there was a reason, right?
Right.
Unless if one of them was the Watcher. No, I'm sick.
I bet that's what you solved the case.
I solved it.
We're done.
We're done. End of story.
Story's over.
Well, luckily in 2016, about 2 years after the first letter came, the couple found a family willing to rent the home on the condition that if a letter came to them, that they could back out of the deal.
Well, that was a nice thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Of course, within 2 weeks, another letter arrived. It was addressed to the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench of a wife, Maria. The letter.
What is he out of the 1800s, this person?
I know. The letter read, 657 Boulevard survived your attempted assault and stood strong with its army of supporters barricading its gates. My soldiers of the Boulevard followed my orders to a T. They carried out their mission and saved the soul of 657 Boulevard with my orders. All hail the Watcher. Maybe a car accident, maybe a fire, perhaps something as simple as a mild illness that never seems to go away but makes you feel sick day after day after day after day after day. Maybe the mysterious death of a pet. Loved ones suddenly die. Planes and cars and bicycles crash. Bones break. You were despised by the house. And the Watcher won. What do you think about that one?
Holy shit.
It just gets crazier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So although the letter spooked the tenants, they agreed to stay as long as more cameras were installed, and that's what they did. They installed more cameras. Investigating this have been difficult for the police. I mean, it's a crime with no fingerprints, no digital trail, and no way to place a suspect at the scene. It was surprising when the police actually managed to put together 3 suspects. Suspect 1 is a man named The Gamer. Nicknamed The Gamer, I should say, due to his love for playing violent video games as a character called The Watcher. Suspect 2, Michael Langford, I think is how you say it, Michael Langford, for his tendency to watch his neighbors.
So he was like the nosy old lady in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Suspect 3, Derek and Maria themselves, due to the suspicion of buyer's remorse and possible movie deals.
I wonder if they're taking that from the original Amityville horror thing.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a different story, though.
It sounds so, similar.
There is a movie called The Watcher with Keanu Reeves.
Is it based off the video
watches
game?
people and watches this, FBI agent, but it's different still. It's still a different story than this, but I don't know. But let's get back to the suspects. Let's go back to suspect number 1, the gamer. One night while the police were surveilling the house around 11 p.m., a car stopped in front of the house. The car was traced back to a young woman who lived in a nearby town, while her boyfriend lived on the same block as 657 Boulevard. When the police questioned the woman, she informed them that her boyfriend was into some dark video games, possibly including a game where he played as a character referred to as the Watcher. When the police asked the boyfriend to come in for questioning, he agreed, but he never showed up to any interviews. and the police couldn't force him to come in without having some sort of evidence. So that's number one. Number two, Michael Langford, the neighbor. So Michael was known to creep out the neighbors by watching them as he would walk through their backyards and peep through their windows. Yeah. You should see Rachel's face right now.
Yeah, that doesn't look so good for you.
It doesn't, no. After Derek attended the same neighborhood barbecue as Michael, the first letter arrived, making Derek believe that he was the watcher because of another thing that he said, too, at this barbecue was he said something along the lines of, like, all new young blood moving in, which was the same wording as the first letter. But is that just him, or is that a thing that they all say around there?
Yeah,
or,
is it a lingo for the town?
Right. We don't know. So that's just a possibility. Michael, the peeper, lived in the house next door, and he lived there with his elderly 90-year-old mother since the 1960s, which is the same time the watcher had claimed that his dad had watched the house, if you remember. Also, Michael's father passed away 12 years prior to Derek and Maria's arrival, which could explain why the watcher said they had been watching for the better part of 2 decades.
A lot of this makes sense.
Yep. And another creepy fact was that due to the positioning of the house, Michael would have been able to see the porch space where the daughter was painting, as the watcher said in the letter.
Oh, so he had like a direct view.
Mm-hmm. Now, police did question him, but he denied knowing anything. Derek and Maria went as far as to send a letter to that family telling them that they would demolish the house in hopes of getting some kind of response back from the watcher, but they never got a response. But at the end of the day, the DNA doesn't agree with this theory. They actually got DNA evidence from one of the letters, and it determined that it belongs to a woman. Now, even after considering Michael's sister, Abby, as the watcher, the police were able to compare the DNA to a water bottle that Abby used and threw away, and then they snatched it up.
Yeah.
But it was not a match. So after this, they stopped investigating that family. But you know what? After reading this and like, okay, it's a female, right?
Yeah.
Well, that one girl from Suspect 1 was driving the car and she was stopped in front of their house, right?
Right.
And then she's telling them their boyfriend was this. I'm just thinking out loud.
She's trying to throw it off on her boyfriend.
Just an idea. That's just something I just came up with.
Suspect 4.
I feel like Joe Kenda. So, anyways, I went off track a little bit. Suspect number 3 was the family itself. Like this, they made up this character. But why would they do that? Well, maybe financially they were having troubles caused by the house, or maybe they were trying to get a movie deal based on the story. Locals and others found a few things to be suspicious, including over the years, the family, they were able to move from a $315,000 house to a $770,000 house to the $1.3 million house with the refinanced mortgages. Some wondered why they would even keep spending money and renovating the house, even if they decided not to move in. And then they spent a total of about $100,000 on the renovation, according to court documents.
Well, I mean, just by reading that, they continued to just move up.
That's what I see, too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they got higher salaries or something,
Yeah,
and they just...
If they knew that they couldn't get rid of the house, or if they were trying to sell the house, of course, to renovate it, you got to put more money into it.
Yeah, because from what I understand, too, the house was dated. So they were probably just trying to make it their own or make it more appealing to the next buyer. Or, I mean, who knows? And another creepy thing is there was never a for sale sign put in that. So for the watcher to know that it was sold to a new family when it was is pretty curious too. Like, this is somebody really watching this house. This is somebody nearby.
And they've got some like inside info, like the whole line about the denying them to tear the house down or to split it in two.
Yes.
They followed his orders or whatever.
Right. Which brings us back to someone on the board is the watcher.
Yeah.
Is there a female on the board? That is the girlfriend of the gamer.
Paul did it. Paul did it.
Paul did it.
It's already decided that the girlfriend gamer did it.
Yeah, and that she's on the board of adjustments.
Oh wait, she is?
I don't know. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be perfect though?
Yeah.
We would solve the mystery right there. I'm just making that part up to make it fit.
I think you should go down to New Jersey and be hired on the law enforcement.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So secondly, major movie studios were attempting to secure the rights to their story, and a large deal would have been the motivation for creating The Watcher. Because you got to remember, this became a media frenzy, right? So it's appealing at this point.
But it's like, how would they know that? I mean, the media would bite. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And how likely, seriously, how likely would it be to get a movie deal by making up a story like this? And then if you want to sell it, hurts your chances of selling.
Right. Because, I mean, it's been proven, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was the Amityville house. Like,
yeah.
It didn't work.
Only people like us would actually buy it to see if it still happened.
Yeah.
There's not many of us out there.
Or if they really wanted to do tour or make money, they would open the house and do tours.
But they're only getting letters, so what are they going to tour? Just the house itself?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
They could have
It's an idea.
Overnight stays.
They could have. I don't know.
What we're saying, though, people, there was other options to make money there.
There was. Lastly, the letter signed friends of the Broaddus family were confirmed to have been written by Derek, so this doesn't look good.
Oh, so they use, like, what do you call that? Like, writing analysis?
I guess. This drew suspicion, even after claiming to not have written the original letters. What was in the favor of their claims is that they did experience psychological trauma, and other family on the block at 633 Boulevard had also received a letter from the Watcher as well. So they weren't the only ones, and it was around the same time. So why would you send a letter to another house and your house if you're the one trying to get the movie deal? You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
So even though it is suspicious that he would have written any letters, but maybe he was like, nothing's being done. If there's more letters, maybe it'd be opened back up or something. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. But we'll move on from that. In an interview with New York Magazine, Derek and Maria spoke about their psychological trauma from the letters that they received. Quote, "I was a depressed wreck," Derek said, to the point where he began hand-delivering anonymous letters of his own neighbors to believe it was all a hoax. It was like cancer. The father of three went on to say, "Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night thinking, what would my life be like if this didn't happen? We lost Christmas a couple times and you don't get that back." Maria recalled how the Watcher letters gave her terrifying nightmares. One involved a man wearing these boots and carrying a pitchfork and calling to the kids, she said. "I couldn't get to them," Maria remembered. The couple never did find out who was behind the letters, but the police suspect it was someone within 300-yard range of the house. And that was it. The end of the story as we know it until July 2019, when the infamous Watcher house actually sold. After 5 years, they are free of this home, selling the 1905 Dutch colonial 6-bedroom house for $959,360, taking a $400,000 loss from when they purchased it.
So no, I don't think they were in it for a movie deal.
No. The family made several attempts to sell the home before it finally did sell to these new brave homeowners. First, in May 2015, they put it up for sale for $1,250,000. Again, March 2016 for that same amount. And then again in November 2016, they reduced the price to $1,199,000. And then in October 2017 for $1,125,000. So you can see they just kept going down, down, down in price. Side note, according to an article written by Larry M. Lace, in October of 2016, a horror movie called The Watcher was released by Lifetime, despite a cease and desist order from the Broaddus family themselves. And after a bidding battle, Netflix won the rights to the story in 2018. So if they were looking for a movie deal, why would they send out a cease and desist?
Exactly. Is that the one you're talking about? The Keanu Reeves one?
No, I don't think so. Because I think that was made way before. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the timeline on that one. Now, according to a copy of the deed filed with the Union County Clerk's Office obtained by NBC New York, the home was sold on July 1st. The real estate agent, Beth Sullivan of Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage, confirmed the purchase with Today Home, but said the new homeowners would like to remain anonymous and have no comment at this time. Now, so far, there have been no reports of the new owners receiving letters from the Watcher. And that's it.
Ooh.
What do you think?
The Watcher's over with?
That's it. Yeah. I would love to know who it was.
It's just really annoying when you can't, you go one way and you think, oh, yeah, this makes sense. And then something, nope. And then you're off to another path and there's no answer.
I know.
But those were all good theories with the victim or the suspects.
I think so too. But in the end, it was a female. That's all we know.
It reminds me of the couple that they were like stalked for 9 years. I think it was in Ohio. And just abruptly it just stopped.
Oh, I didn't know this story.
Yeah, they never figured out who. And actually, it was a male. They had a description of him. And he... The woman, the wife, like he attacked her twice from like behind, but they don't know who.
Yeah.
Never figured out who it was.
Do you think that now that the new owners haven't received any letters from the Watcher, it probably makes Derek and Maria look even more guilty? Because this was only an issue with them.
I guess to some people, but I don't think so because the point about the movie.
Yeah. I wonder why they were targeted. And the young kids had something to do with it too. Maybe this Watcher was playing in the house or lived in the house during this time in the 1960s as a kid. And that's why he's talking about, have you discovered all the secrets of the house, blah, blah, blah. Maybe looking back at the deeds and, former owners during this time would give any answers. I mean, who knows?
Like, it almost just sounds like someone that used to live in the house that's just jealous that they don't live in the house anymore.
Yeah, and they can afford to buy it.
Yeah.
Even though it's been for sale so many times. Maybe they were jealous of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a puzzler.
It is. Well, that concludes this week's episode. If you're craving more Operation Evil, check out our Patreon for bonus episodes. We put a new one out every month. And just as a reminder, if you want to start a podcast, check out our link in the show notes to Buzzsprout. It's an easy way to launch your podcast. Get your show listed on every major platform. And be sure to follow our link so you get a $20 Amazon gift card. And this lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you and it helps support our show. Well, we'll be back next week with a new episode. In the meantime, I wonder if the Watcher's theme song was Every Breath You Take by the Police. You know, the one with the lyrics, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take. I'll be watching you. Just a thought. Bye.
Thank you for this mystery.
Oh, you're welcome. You liked it?
Yes, loved it.
I enjoyed it too. I'm glad you liked it. And I hope you guys did too. If you didn't, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.